Alright. Let's see here. Record. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. I am your host, Jason Knapp. Yes, the K is pronounced just like the K in knife. And this is my music podcast. Should I stick with that name? I don't know. It's kind of a working title right now. Anyway, did you know, as of recording this episode today, the System of a Down album, Steal This album, came out 20 years ago yesterday, November 26th, I believe. 20 years. Yeah, me either. Until I saw a post about it yesterday on Facebook. So technically, the album came out when I was a freshman in high school. Fuck, I'm old. Of course, I listened to the album in full just to refresh my memory, because it's probably nearly been that long since I last listened to the album in full. I didn't really realize, at least at the time, or at least now until I listened to it yesterday, the influence that they have had on me, not just like musically, but lyrically. Not saying I agree or disagree with everything that they ever sang about, but I've always known they were a political band, or are a political band. But I didn't really understand it, I guess, or cared to understand it when I was younger. But obviously I'm a little older now, and I can appreciate it, or, come up with my own thoughts about whatever they're singing about. But anyway, it's good. If for some reason you've been living under a rock, you should definitely check the album out, for sure. Some standout songs for me, anyway. Intervision, Mr. Jack, Pictures, and Fuck the System. Just that name alone, just fuck the system. Anyway, let's get to the first episode of my music podcast. I want to start out by saying to those who have been waiting, and I suppose to those who are just finding out about me now through this podcast, I've been delaying doing this episode. One, I was sick about a week and a half ago. And, working. I work in the beer industry, so the holidays, things get a little hectic. But anyway, for the most part, I'm frankly a little terrified for today. I assume you might already know why, because it's in the name of this episode. If you clicked on it, you're like, oh shit, okay, cool. So, I am taking on the one and only Paqui One Chip challenge. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to it. But, content, right? But before I get into that, I want to briefly talk about something that maybe some of you know about. I did have another podcast, or started another podcast, rather, with a buddy of mine. We did one episode, and then some things happened between us. I don't want to get into too much detail. But some things happened. We haven't really talked about it, really, I guess you could say. So don't know where either one of us, or I don't know where he really stands, and he doesn't really know where I stand on it. But basically, I haven't talked to him a couple months now. I saw him recently, or semi-recently, at the Lorna Shore show that came through Tampa. We talked like nothing was, the matter for the most part, anyway. But again, haven't really talked to him. He sold me his podcast equipment, so in my mind, I guess you could say things are a little dead with that, if you will. Am I willing to figure things out and maybe be civil with him? Sure. So if for some reason, bro, you're listening to this, hit me up. Maybe we can figure things out. All right. So with that being said, that out of the way, whatever, don't have to talk about it again unless things come up. So normally on every episode I plan on starting with a special beer, or quote unquote special beer, whatever, and enjoying some beers throughout the recording or whatever, with whatever I'm talking about, whether it be shows or a new release, a specific band, like my favorite band, Korn, whatever. Or maybe I want to talk about something that I'm watching or reading. Well, I don't really read, I just listen to audiobooks. But that's the same thing, right? So, like Star Wars, which I'm a huge fan, in case you can't, for the people watching this recording, see my Star Wars things behind me. So, whatever, just kind of have fun with it. Not necessarily be about one thing, even though the podcast is probably going to be named something to do with music. But it's my podcast. I can do whatever the hell I want. So, obviously I'm doing the chip challenge today. Before that, I'm going to open at least one beer before I can't taste anything because my mouth is on fire or whatever. Originally, I was going to open a beer from a local brewery to me, Coppertail Brewing. Their Imperial Purple Drink, which is I think it's an 8.5% sour beer. But since I've been delaying this recording for so long, because again I'm kind of terrified, the yearly release of a certain beer has happened, so I'm gonna open that instead because it kind of more has a special place in my heart than the Coppertail beer. So with that, I'm gonna be, I probably should try and drink this whole thing before I get into the beer, or get into the chip, I mean. But it's Bourbon County, from Goose Island. Again, for those watching, this is the bottle. They released it in its normal packaging this year of I think it's almost 17-ounce bottles or whatever. But it used to come back in the day in 4-pack, 12-ounce bottles. I guess this year for their 30th anniversary, I believe, they released it in 4-packs again for a nostalgia purpose or whatever have you. So me and my dumbass, if you will, got the 4-pack because that way, and once I drink one, I still have multiple to age or whatever, because I'm very good at aging beer. I have my beer fridge over here next to me with some beers that have been aging for a while. I want to say I have a bottle of a Dogfish 120-minute IPA. That's at least 6 or 7 years old in there. Anyway, get to this beer. So this is the 2022 release of Bourbon County. I'm gonna read the label, because why not? So it says, before exploring a new idea for our 1000th batch of beer at our Clybourne Brew Pub, I believe that's how you pronounce that, putting an Imperial Stout in a used bourbon barrel had not been done before. Granted, again, this was 30 years ago. Now everybody puts everything in fucking barrels. That idea altered Goose Island's history and that of the craft beer world. True. As we look back on the last 30 years, there's so much to celebrate. It started with people not knowing exactly what they were drinking and grew to lines of beer lovers forming every Black Friday in hopes of getting their hands on a bottle of Bourbon County brand stout. Which, before I finish the rest of the label, I do remember back when you couldn't get this. Like, it would be released and it'd be sold out just immediately. Like, as soon as the store opened, there'd be enough people there, it's gone. But again, I work in the beer industry, so I have relationships with certain accounts to, just in case, hold back a few of these or whatever, just in case it sells out. But I was in the store that I purchased these at the day after, so Saturday, and they still had all of them, all the variants and whatever that store carried. Not like the super rare, like the rarer one, like the proprietors one. I think you can only get that in Chicago, and one of the other ones, like the whatever. But anyway, they still had them, so now it's a lot easier to get these. But just to be safe, I like to hold some aside just in case. Anyway, so the rest of the label, it says the original batch started with only 6 used bourbon barrels. Over the course of 30 years, we created more than 65 different variants, partnered locally and globally, and made a whole lot of friends along the way. Year after year, one thing has stayed the same: this beer. Well, yeah, the beer at the base, sure, but the barrels are different. Whatever. This carefully crafted bourbon barrel-aged stout continues to bring people together to toast one another all around the world. Cheers. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago, Illinois. 12 fluid ounces, stout aged in bourbon barrels. Enjoying a snifter, which I have my fancy Cigar City Club glass over here. Brewed, barrel-aged, and bottled by Goose Island. Government warning. Drink by October 11th, 2027. Well, I'm drinking it tonight, so that's, well, yeah. 14.3% alcohol. Cool. All right. Gonna get out my fancy Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl champions bottle opener, because I had to retire my Bud Light bottle opener because I've had it for better part of 10 years, I think, and it's starting to bend really awkwardly every time I open anything. So I figured I'd start using the Buccaneers one here. If anybody knows me, I only support the Buccaneers because they're technically my home team, but other than that, I am not a Buccaneers fan. And especially now, because you can call me a Tom Brady hater or whatever, but my team, however, sucks dick. I had to turn the game off today because they just pissed me off. At this point, the season's over, we might as well just play for first round or first pick of the draft or whatever the hell. Anyway, all right, so let's open this up. Oh. Let's see how this looks. I don't know if y'all can hear that. The pour, I mean. For those watching, because I'm going to post this whole thing, I suppose. That's a really good pour. Can't really see how dark it is on camera, but ooh, yeah, it smells delicious. All right, cheers to everybody out there. Cheers to whatever you want to cheers to. I'm cheersing to my first episode of this new podcast. I'm super stoked about the podcast as a whole. Not necessarily what I'm doing today, but anyway, cheers, everybody. Ooh, that's smooth. Wow. Honestly, if you blindfolded me and told me to try this beer, I might be able to. I definitely could tell you it's stout. I could probably tell you it's barrel aged because it's got definitely some chocolate, obviously, coffee, but it's very to me anyway. It tastes very kind of creamy, or like how a nitro beer kind of tastes on the tongue. Very creamy like that. But I could 14.5%? No way. No fucking way. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that this beer is 14.5%. The fact, probably because they've been doing it for 30 years, they can hide the alcohol very well. Which, excuse me, I know I've been a club member at Cigar City for, the better part of a decade, I believe. And they've gotten very good at hiding alcohol percentage. I mean, they just released one beer. It's a double barrel brown ale, but 17%. I haven't had it yet. I got a bottle of it, but I haven't tried it yet. But apparently it's really hot, like barrel hotness. But again, I haven't tried it yet. I look forward to it. Maybe I'll do that on the next episode. I don't know. But a lot of their club bottles, well, not a lot of them, but some of them are like 14, 15 percent. They did release, I think for this past Tampa Bay Beer Week, they released a 17% stout, maybe, or barley wine, maybe. But again, I would have never known that it was that big. It just didn't taste that hot. And usually, if it's that hot, you expect it to be a higher alcohol. But anyway, so anyways, yeah, if you can get some Bourbon County, whether it's this year or you will have to wait till next year when they release it. Usually, the regular one will last for a while, for maybe 6 months after it's released. But like all the variants and stuff, depending on what it is, because I want to say there's a couple stores that I service that still have a variant of last year's variants, but usually all the variants will sell out within the first couple weeks at least. But again, the regular one will last. And if you haven't had it, and you're maybe just getting into stouts or whatever, it's a very solid starter stout, especially for how big it is, because it's usually, I believe, around 14% every year. So anyway, check it out if you want. If not, cool. Anyway, so as of right now, when I originally, so I have my notes here on my computer, so I can kind of stay on track. When I originally started writing this, it was like, okay, I'm going to write this, and then in a couple days, whatever. But as of right now, so let's just say several weeks ago, I asked my friends on Instagram and Facebook if they had any burning questions about me, whether it was music related or not, that I could answer while doing the chip challenge. Because I assume there's, at least from the videos that I've seen from this challenge, there's not a lot of talking. There's just a lot of suffering. So, but a couple of the videos and a couple of people that I follow, like on YouTube, they did this sort of thing, where they asked their followers or whatever to ask questions, and they would try and they would answer them while they're doing the challenge. So that's what I kind of wanted to do. That way, I don't have to just, like, I guess, think of something to talk about, because I guess there's a scale of, if you can last this long, you're this good. If you last this long, you're even better. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Guess we'll find out once we open it. But a couple of the questions that I got, I didn't really think were. I mean, they're good questions. I guess they're good questions, but not necessarily like during the challenge kind of questions. They're all basically the same question for the most part here. But anyway, I'm gonna do these before the challenge. So, first question: what motivates me to brave the one chip challenge, and am I getting paid for it? To answer the second half of that question, no, I'm not getting paid for it. I'm sure there are people that are getting paid for it, and good for them, whatever. But not me. Which goes into, I guess, the first part of that question: what motivates me to do it? I've always been well, not always, for probably since about high school. So how old am I now? So the better part of 20 years. I've enjoyed spicy food, or spicy things. Let's put it that way: spicy things. Didn't really like spicy food until my mom married my stepfather. And he liked spicy stuff, so which eventually, with all the cooking and whatever, I eventually got to a point where I was like, oh, I really like spicy stuff. And now, funny thing is, me, my brother, and my mom can handle way spicier stuff than he can, which is kind of funny to me, because he's the one that got us into spicy stuff, and now we're like, a whole level or tier, whatever, higher. Which, okay, cool. But me and my brother, back when I was, I was in college at the time. Every Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that. Probably Wednesday, Wing Wednesday. we would get together after my class, in the my evening class. We would get together and try and eat like the spiciest chicken wings or whatever that we could find in the local areas. For the most part, we went to like Buffalo Wild Wings, Beef O'Brady's, shit like that or whatever. We were always trying to find spicier things, just to enjoy ourselves, because I guess we're glutton for punishment, or whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. I just want to, ultimately, I just want to really try this chip. I've seen it for years, because they've been doing it for 5 years now, I think. 4 or 5 years now. I think I bought one at a local grocery store a couple years ago. um, that I wanted to try, and then I was with a girl at the time, and we broke up, and it was really messy. Um, so I just never got around to it because I wasn't in the right headspace, I guess. So the chip technically expired. Um, I'm sure as far as um, like the chip itself being any good. Like I'm sure the heat was still there, but stale. Jesus, that's the word I'm looking for. Stale. Uh, so again, yeah, I've always wanted to try this. Um, if it goes quote unquote well today, maybe I'll do it again next year. Um, maybe even if it doesn't go well, I'll do it next year because content, right? Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that answers that question, right? Okay. The next question: will there be milk on standby? Technically, yes. There's some in the refrigerator. Do I plan on um, going to get it? No. Um, will I have to go get it? Time will only tell. I have no idea. Am I lactose intolerant? No, I'm not. Not that I'm aware of. Because, I mean, I enjoy the shit out of ice cream. I drink milk every once in a while. Not like I used to drink milk a lot more, but not as much anymore. But I've been eating on, so local grocery store to me, Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. I got a free pint. Maybe not a pint. Anyway, I got a free thing of ice cream for my birthday, which was at time of recording almost 2 weeks ago. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks. So I got, because I'm part of their shopping club or whatever. Because I go there every week to get stuff for lunch for work for all week. Because if I didn't do that, I would spend way too much money, and in this economy, I can't afford that. So anyway, yeah, I got a free thing of ice cream, so I've been eating on that. So no, as far as I know, I'm not lactose intolerant. Anyway, do I like drinking milk? Yes. That's the next question. Do I like drinking milk? Yes, I do. Again, I don't do it as often as I used to, because when I was growing up, drink your milk because strong bones, blah blah blah, whatever. Like, I was like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. Because I used to skateboard, whatever. I thought that helped. Did it? I don't know. So, next question: go-to milk brand or milk alternative? I've tried milk alternatives, like the almond milk and all that crap. I've tried it. Not a fan. I like regular cow titty milk. Usually I go Publix. Whole milk. I drank 2% for years. And then for a while I was drinking like skim milk, 1%, whatever. Because the girl that I was with at the time thought we were fat or whatever. But yeah, now I when I'm drinking milk, it's whole milk or sweet milk or whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah, milk, it's there if I need it today. Do I plan on it? No. I want to try and be that really strong guy, whatever. All right. Well, that's all the questions that don't. I mean, technically I can answer all these questions but I guess now that we're 30 minutes roughly into this recording, we can get to the challenge. Yay! I'm so excited. So, show the camera here, Paqui One Chip challenge. It's fancy, right? Kind of scary. All right. So in the box it says, inside, 1 extremely spicy tortilla chip. No shit, Sherlock. 1 Chip Challenge 2022. Turns your tongue blue. You know, kind of the gag. Whatever. Reaper pepper and scorpion pepper. Which, in case you don't know, are some of the hottest peppers in the world. Awesome. On the back, it says, warning, do not eat if you are sensitive to spicy foods, allergic to peppers, nightshades, or capsaicin. What the fuck is nightshades? I have no clue. None. Anyway, whatever. As far as I know, I'm okay with all that. Or if you are pregnant or have any medical conditions. Well, regardless of, yeah, I don't think I'm pregnant. As far as I know. I mean, I know some, whatever, we're not getting that. Keep out of reach of children. Really? After touching the chip, wash your hands with soap and do not touch your eyes or other sensitive areas. What, like my nuts? Okay. Obviously, I'm not going to touch my eyes because, I mean, I'll probably end up having tears because from what I've seen, it's that hot. All right. Should I wash my hands? I mean, I have a napkin over here. I'll just wipe my fingers. What is this? Seek medical assistance should you experience difficulty breathing, fainting, or extended nausea. Like, what the hell is in here? Fire? Like, what the fuck? So this chip is best before April 23rd, 2023. So as of recording, that's in 6 months. A little less than 6 months. Nutrition facts, because of course, why not have those? 25 calories. Sweet. I'm gonna get full off of this. Nice. 1 gram of total fat. 25 milligrams of sodium, blah, blah, no protein, no vitamin D, no calcium, blah, okay. Ingredients. And blue corn, which I'm assuming is made to make the chip, or used to make the chip. Sunflower and or safflower oil. Carolina Reaper pepper, scorpion chili pepper, sea salt, and blue one. Just the fact that the pepper, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ingredients, and 3 and 4. I mean, basically the entire chip is the peppers, besides the corn or whatever to make the chip. Cool. So, if this is the last you hear from me, it's because of this chip. All right. So it's manufactured for Amplify Snack Brands Incorporated, Austin, Texas, USA. Cool. Get out my switchblade here. Open this bad boy up because there's tape. Because you know you want to keep it out of reach of children. Fuck! I'm so fucking terrified. Yeah, like. I've mostly been putting this off because I'm so fucking terrified of it. Okay. And the inside of this doesn't make me feel any better. Alright. Alright, so inside it says 1 Chip Challenge 2022, and then it has a scale of like you versus the Reaper. And it says on the U side, a simple being who thinks they can handle the surge of extreme heat versus the Reaper. 1 supercharged demon powered by the most electrifying peppers on earth. Nice. What to expect? Cool. Made with Carolina Reaper pepper and scorpion pepper, this high voltage chip was created for the shocking pleasure of intense heat and pain. Is it really pleasure though? Are people really getting off on this? Probably. I hope not, because that's kind of weird. All right. So, according to this, what it says, first step is the tongue takeover. Okay. And then number 2, shock of the senses. Makes sense. Number 3, surge of tears. Nice. Let's see. Number 4, jolt to the gut. Cool. I'm going to be shitting fire. Nice. And then number 5, voltage overload. Cool. Nice. So what's this? This little fold out thing. It says Paqui, real peppers, real heat. How long can you last before you short circuit? Guess we'll find out. Eating or drinking. Oh, so eating or drinking anything for relief is when you short circuit. Okay. So if you last a minute, the fact that that's even a fucking option is very concerning. Like, very concerning. Like, really concerning. So if you last a minute, you're powerless. Cool. All right. If you last 10 minutes, you're powerful. Okay. 30 minutes, you're supercharged. And if you last an hour, you're invincible, according to this. If you last longer than that, I'm assuming you're God. Okay. And then, assuming I crush it, there on the other side it says I crushed the challenge. Okay. And on the other side of the inside of the box, it says face the Reaper. It has a little Reaper. It says any last words. I don't know yet. It says rules for the challenge. Eat the entire chip, obviously. Prove it. Show us your tongue. So I'm, chewing it, whatever, getting rid of it, swallowing the whole thing. Okay. Wait as long as possible before drinking or eating anything. And then post your reaction on social media with hashtag One Chip Challenge and mention at Paqui Chips. Should we talk about something else before I fucking get into this? Because I'm kind of terrified. I probably should drink the rest of this beer. Although, I imagine if I let it warm up, it might not be too bad in, an hour. Oh, God. I'm not looking forward to this. Okay, so all the videos I've seen, the chip is broken in the bag. God, my nose is already running. I haven't even done it. Again, all the chips I've seen on the internet have been broken when they come out of the bag. And from what I can feel, this one might be the whole thing, but I mean, it's the whole chip, whether it's broken or not. Fuck me. I'm not looking forward to this. Well, now that it's open. Oh, the chip looks like death. You can see that? People that are watching, it literally looks like they just drug it through the fucking dirt. Ugh. It smells terrible. Ugh. Alright, so let's see what time we're recording here. We'll start it at 40 minutes, which is in 30 seconds. All right, well, thank you everybody for listening to this. This is gonna be rough. This is gonna be real rough. Real fucking rough. All right. Just about that time. I'm gonna go for it. Cheers. If I throw up, cool. Okay. Kind of tastes like butthole. Okay, starting to warm up. Oh yeah. Starting to warm up a little bit. Fuck. Oh, fuck, that's hot. Oh. Oh, fuck, that's hot. Oh, I need to grab more napkins. Oh. Holy shit. Okay, well, fuck, that's hot. So this kind of reminds me, several years ago, I went to a restaurant with a girlfriend. Oh God. And And whoo. Okay. Oh. Well. In case you're just listening, I've been spitting all the saliva into the empty bottle. Good. Oh, I'm not. Whoa. I'm not swallowing that shit. Alright, give me a second here. Haven't made it 10 minutes yet. Oh, my eyes are watering. Oh. Oh. All right. Okay. All right. Whew. Okay. Okay. Oh. I do not. Whew. Recommend it at all. Woo! Whew. Okay. Ugh, fuck. Whew. All right. Whew. Fuck, that was hot. Okay. All right, so didn't think it was gonna. Oh, did not think it was gonna be that bad. Oh. Anyway, so I was with this girl, and we went to this local restaurant that I guess was featured on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's, go check that out or whatever. So we went, and they had some spicy burger on the menu. It had peppers on top or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. I like hot stuff, whatever. But so get the burger, whatever, and I'm like, okay, this is good. It had really good heat to it, but it had flavor. And I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. But she's like, ugh. So her and the bartender, they're like, oh, take a bite out of the pepper on top. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I took a bite. I took a bite that was just the fucking tip. Literally just the tip. And I was like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. I don't know, 30 seconds, maybe. After biting into it, that shit hit me like a fucking truck. It turns out it was a habanero pepper. Yeah, it was a habanero pepper. One of the hottest fucking things I have ever eaten in my life. That chip is definitely right up there. Wow. Ooh. I don't know how. I don't know if they dumbed that down at all. I don't think so. Fuck, that was hot. Okay. I still have leftover heat, but nothing like unbearable. Just like, I can't, kind of, okay. I guess, can we get to the questions now? 10 minutes after. Okay, so 10 minutes is what? I'm power full. Okay, so. Alright. So we have some beer related questions here. I really want to take a sip of that beer, but I'm not gonna do it. Alright. Favorite local brewery. I guess probably Cigar City. I try to go to them at least once a week, because it's on my way home from work, whatever. But other than that, probably Woven Water. Just the flavors that they do. I like their sours and their stouts. Their IPAs are good. They're good. But a lot of the local breweries, their IPAs, at least their like hazy IPAs, which is the cool thing or whatever, kind of all taste the same. My nose is running, sorry. But so probably Cigar City, just because they're kind of go-to. Yeah, they're technically corporate now because Monster owns them and, you know, whatever, but Woven Water for their flavor profile, I guess you could say. Next question, do I prefer a certain style of beer? Usually what I'm drinking day in, day out is IPA. I usually drink High Life. I will drink like Yingling, but I guess you could say my go-to is IPA. Obviously, I enjoy my stouts and my barley wines and my sours. I used to be more into stouts or I used to drink stouts more often than I do now. But yeah, I prefer an IPA, usually a lighter IPA. So I guess I sound like an alcoholic. I can drink more longer, especially with the lower alcohol percentage. But my go-to is High Life, usually. I'll switch it up, if something's on sale, when Publix has their buy one, get ones. If it's a good IPA, I'll get those, whatever. But IPA, let's go with that. Favorite stout is the next question. Ooh, favorite stout. Cigar City might come up quite a bit today, but probably they don't make it anymore. They've made it once in the past 7 years, but their Cafe Americano, basically just a coffee stout. When I first had that, oh my god, one of the best. I'm not a coffee drinker at all, but something about that beer just hit right. It just the flavors, it was mostly coffee, yes, but I don't know, something about it. Maybe it's because it's a beer and it's alcohol or whatever, I don't know, but it was so good. And then, I don't know, a few years after that, they released it again, and it was way more coffee forward. And I was like, okay, it's good, but not what I want. Other than that, there were Cigar City's Hunapoo Day. With the first year I went, they had a peanut butter and jelly Hunapoo. That shit was awesome. Because I'm a sucker for peanut butter and jelly. Who isn't? But that one was really good. I used to be into beer trading a lot. So I traded for I'm pretty sure it was a stout from Bottle Logic out in California, called Red Eye November, I believe is the name of it was. I have the empty bottle in storage. But that one was really, really good too. I can't remember what kind of stout that was. But that one was really good. But as far as you can get that if you trade or if you go to Bottle Logic, if they still make it. But the peanut butter and jelly Hunapoo, they don't make. The Cafe Americano, they don't make. But as far as let's just say an everyday, if I had to pick a stout off the shelf, maybe New Holland's Dragon's Milk. I haven't had it in a while, but probably that. Maybe fuck, what the hell's the name of the brewery? I can't remember the name of the brewery, but Old Rasputin, that's a good one. Yeah, just go with that. I'm not a Guinness guy. It tastes like dirty water. Yeah, so next question. Favorite double IPA? Oof. That's a good question. It used to be Florida Man from Cigar City, but now I feel like the recipe's changed, and I mean it's still good, but I don't go out of my way to buy it. Other than that, I mean, there's not many double IPAs that I can think of that are like just readily available, like at your local gas station or something. I guess technically, right now, I guess you could call it a double IPA, but it doesn't taste like an IPA at all. It doesn't taste like beer. It just tastes like orange juice. But New Belgium, their juice force, I think it's like 9 or 9.5%, which is technically double IPA, pushing triple IPA. But that one's really good. Juice force. I wouldn't say I have a favorite double IPA, but sorry, just got a little more chip in my back of my throat. I wouldn't say I have a favorite double IPA, but as far as like a current favorite quote unquote double IPA would be Juice Force. Okay. Favorite sour ale. This one's easy. Wicked Weed Brewing's Black Angel. God, it was. Oh fuck! It was 2016, 2015, something like that. I drove up to Asheville, North Carolina, because I'd recently gone through a breakup, kind of, and not like kind of a breakup, but like I'm trying to. I want to say it was maybe 6 months, or something, whatever it was, and I was at the time I was working at a local convenience store, gas station. I don't know if you heard of it, but Wawa. They're based out of Pennsylvania. But I was working there, and I had some vacation time, so I was like, okay, I'm really getting into craft beer, like really hardcore, and I want to try something different. I was like, oh, let me make a little bit of a road trip, whatever. And I was like, oh, let me hit this brewery on the way up, and this brewery on the way up, and then this brewery on the way down, whatever. But ultimately, I just settled on going up to Asheville and checking out all the breweries up there, because literally there's like, I don't know, 50 of them up there. I know there's not that many, but I'm just throwing it. It's a large number. You could literally throw a rock at. You could throw a rock in any direction and hit a brewery within like 10 feet of you. Again, a little bit of an exaggeration, but there's a lot of them up there. But anyway, this was before. I went up there before Wicked Weed, quote unquote, sold out to Anheuser-Busch, which I know a lot of people feel some type of way about that because Budweiser and blah blah blah. Personally, I don't care where the money comes from, as long as the beer doesn't suffer. But anyway, I went up to Wicked Weed because at the time everybody's like, oh, Wicked Weed, they're great, just check this out, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, okay. And I knew what they were known for, but I wasn't into the style, which is sour beer. I wasn't into the style, but at the time. But I think I had gone to. I think I had a tour at Sierra Nevada, which their location up there. I think I had a tour of the brewery in the morning or in the early afternoon. And then I might have gone to a brewery or two before I went to Wicked Weed. But the first sour beer I had from them was Black Angel. And it's a barrel aged, it's just a bourbon barrel aged sour. I don't know the exact specifications, so don't come at me. But it shit changed my life. Changed my life. After that, totally 100% like try every sour I possibly could. And now I can't drink like multiple of them without being like, okay, I'm done. Because there's ones that just, rip the enamel off your teeth. There's some that are just like, it's too much. I don't want to say too much flavor, but it just becomes too much. So I enjoy sours. Again, Woven Water makes some here locally that are really good. Hidden Springs locally make some good sours. Arcane Ale Works. I wish Cigar City would come back with their sours because they made some good ones. So again, I'll drink them. But my favorite, Black Angel from Wicked Weed. Okay, next question. Favorite lager? Yingling. Easy. Favorite store-bought beer if I have to buy it? Meaning it's readily available in store, I believe. Again, usually High Yingling. Coors Banquet. Love me some Coors Banquet. Other than that, I'm not sure exactly what the question is really asking. I'm assuming just if it's available in store. So, all right. Next question. Brown or clear liquor? Not a fan of liquor usually. But I guess when I do drink it, usually brown, I guess. Darker, whatever. All right, next. Go to whiskey / scotch pour. Again, I'm not a liquor guy. So I don't really have a go-to, honestly. So again, the next question, favorite tequila, vodka, gin. Again, I'm just not that kind of guy. Beer, I'm good. Like, I don't need, tequila, bourbon, any of that. Like, even like wine. Like, just not me. Can't do it. Cocktail of choice if I have to get one. Again, same. I just don't. Go-to cigar. Again, I don't smoke. I've smoked like Black and Milds, and I've had a few puffs on cigars or whatever, but I'm just never got the draw, the excitement behind smoking or whatever. Just not my thing. I'm like if you smoke around me, I don't really give a shit because I can just wash the smell off, whatever. But not for me. All right. A little update on the chip. Basically, as far as my mouth is concerned, almost like it was never there. Now, will I be shitting fire later? Probably. But that's remained to be seen. There won't be video or recording of that. So you're welcome. All right. So the music related questions, since I guess technically I want this to be a music podcast, right? Okay. What bands got you into heavy music? Wow. Now, like heavy music, quote unquote heavy, can be. That's a subjective term, I guess you could say. Everybody has their own definition of heavy. But as far as like what I listen to now, which a lot of people deem quote unquote devil music. I mean, growing up, my mom listened to like Cher and Celine Dion, things like that. And my dad, from what I can remember, it was mostly Christian rock, if you will. Can't remember any of the names of the bands right now, but I do remember like Striper. But I guess initially, as far as like getting to where I'm at now, would probably like POD and Linkin Park, or System of a Down, I guess you could say, or Puddle of Mud. I don't want to say Metallica because I never really listened to them when I was younger, and I've only heard really everything that's on the radio, and I can't stand it. But I guess, yeah, we can go POD and Linkin Park. Just especially Linkin Park, I'm sure everybody has anybody my age who doesn't appreciate Linkin Park is lying to you. All right, next question. What's your favorite non-metal song? The Campfire Song from SpongeBob. Because, come on, like, it's a banger. Absolute banger. But all jokes aside, though, wow. I don't know if I have mostly I don't listen to a lot of quote unquote non-metal. I do, like, I listen to hip hop. Sort of. But other than that, so I don't know if it's I'm not gonna say song, but my favorite release in the past, let's just say year or two, would be NF, the Clouds EP, whatever it's called. That one's really good. Really enjoy that. Favorite genres of music. Next question is favorite genres of music. That's hard to answer because, again, I don't really listen to anything that's usually not electric guitar and drum forward. So I don't. I guess you could say hip hop, sort of. I mean, I'm starting to get into like more quote unquote pop music, kind of, because there's a band that I've heard of, but I kind of recently got into called Bill Murray, which apparently I guess is a play on the actor. But they're kind of quote unquote pop, at least as far as like the music I listen to is kind of concerned, I guess you could say. I mean, I do kind of enjoy like Poppy. She used to be like a YouTube star. She has quote unquote heavy songs. She's signed to Sumerian Records as far as I know. I mean, I will listen to like Taylor Swift. But other than that, I mean, I like the box that I'm in, or that I've made for myself, I guess you could say. And I'm starting to break down a little bit of those walls to like venture out and find something else. But for the most part, I stay inside my box because I like my comfort zone. But again, I'm trying because I'm getting older and I'm starting to appreciate certain styles or certain parts of music, I guess. So I'm getting there. All right. Next question. Why am I drawn to my favorite band? So, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this a little earlier. My favorite band being Korn. When I first heard the band, there was just something different about them that I'd never heard before that really excited me. And I was like, oh shit, I gotta really check this out. I gotta find more. So I kept looking into it. Had a buddy in high school lend me all the CDs that he had. I listened to all of them, really just took it in. But ultimately, if it wasn't for the band, I would not be here today. Because obviously mental health is a huge issue in society. But back when I was going through my struggles, if you will, I didn't really reach out to anybody. There was a couple people that knew what I was going through. But ultimately I was like, no, I need to figure this out on my own. So what did I do? I reached out to Korn. And there was one album in particular that really saved me because it came out like at the perfect time. Serenity of Suffering. I'm like, ugh, terrible fan here for not 100% remembering, but yeah, Serenity of Suffering. I have the doll from the cover tattooed on my wrist. I mean, my whole right arm is all Korn tattoos. I have the autographs from all but one of the members on my arm, and I have the lyrics. I would have never lived if it wasn't for you, which is, I know the song was initially written as a thank you to, or the lyrics were like to the fans, like if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. So like to me, it's kind of my whatever you want to call it, back to the band, because again, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. And that's just really the long and the short. Man, if it wasn't for Korn, I wouldn't be here. And I just don't know what I would do without them. I mean, yes, I have other, I mean, now, I know I can reach out to people or the hotline or whatever. But I mean, I guess I've gotten really good at bottling shit up, and doing things on my own. So whatever. I go to music, so but yeah, Korn. They just saved my life. So all right. Next question after that doozy, I guess. What instrument excites me the most? Hmm. I mean, they're okay. Technically, vocals are an instrument. Technically, um, so especially now with the way a lot of guys are tweaking their vocals to like make different sounds and whatever. That like vocals are really cool. Again, guitars you can put a bunch of different, you know, tones on that. You know, with I don't know the right terminologies, but you know where you can change the way it sounds. I mean, drumming's cool. Like it's all cool. Like it's all very exciting. But I guess right now, as of right today, as an instrument, I would have to say vocals because a lot of guys now are pushing the boundary of what can be done. So let's go with vocals. Next question. If I could play any instrument, what would it be? Guitar. Hold on, I just got a text message. God. Nice timing, mother. Nice timing. What am I saying? Oh, yeah. If I could play instruments, what would it be? Guitar. So, I briefly started learning how to play guitar years ago, like very briefly, because my brother used to play guitar. I mean, I'm assuming he still does in his free time, maybe, possibly. But he used to play in a local band or whatever, and he played guitar. He started off on bass, but then ended up playing guitar. But always wanted, as far as like an instrument's concerned, is guitar. Just because everybody loves a guitar player, right? All the bitches love it, right? I didn't mean it like that, but yeah, all the ladies love it, right? So just to be able to play an instrument, and just in general, would be cool. I'm sure I could figure it out now, but I mean, so focus on the podcast, right? Why do I need to play an instrument? Anyway, next question. Lyrics or instrumentation, which matters most to me? It depends, honestly. Because there are a lot of bands that I listen to just for the music, and not necessarily the lyrical content. I can't think of a band off the top of my head that I listen to solely for the lyrical content and not the music. So I guess you could say instrumentation and not lyrics. Although I do appreciate good lyrics, obviously, because that helps make a song. But yeah, instrumentation for sure. I mean, I know there's like as far as like vocally, there are bands that I listen to that the vocalist personally is quote unquote in the wrong band. I'm not saying he's a bad vocalist, but just something about the way he or she delivers the vocals isn't personally right for the music. To me, anyway. Do people love them? Sure. But yeah, but I guess ultimately instrumentation is what matters most. So, all right. So the last question, and I have like 15 minutes. Ooh, excuse me. To kill before I get to the invincible part of this challenge, right? But the last question that I have here, anyway, says, "What do I like most in music?" Oh, yeah, I think my stomach's starting to feel it. What mood do I like most in music? Happy, sad, mad, etc. I guess recently, probably the sadder stuff, I guess you can say. I don't know why, but I've been recently getting into like the quote unquote lighter side of metal music, like the metal core, like your Bad Omens and Dayseeker and Devil Wears Prada, stuff like that. And it seems like in the past at least year, I mean, I guess even for like heavier bands like Lorna Shore, have been releasing like quote unquote sad boy music, which growing up, I never thought I would be into like the quote unquote softer stuff. I was always like, oh, give me heavier the better. I don't want that soft pussy shit, whatever. But now I'm more into like the clean singing and then the stuff that's making you feel, all that. So right now, my favorite mood is sad, I suppose you could say. Like the new Dayseeker record. God, if my heart wasn't made of stone, that shit would make me bawl my eyes out. But usually, if it sounds pissed off, like Hatebreed, for instance, like it sounds pissed off, but the lyric content is very uplifting, like, so, but I do like if it just sounds pissed off. That's my go-to usually. But as of right now, I like the sad stuff, I guess you can say. Even though obviously I still listen to the pissed off stuff, if you will, or whatever. All right, so that's all the questions that I have here. So I've made it through the challenge. I have like 10-ish minutes left to be invincible, quote unquote, according to this challenge. But right now, I'm not, like, I have a feeling in the top of my stomach. It's more like pressure, not like heat or pain, I guess you could say. But as far as like pain in my mouth or whatever, that after like 10-15 minutes, for the most part, that was gone. Am I going to do it again next year? Probably not. Nope. Because I've heard it's just gotten hotter every year. But I want to thank Jordan, Courtney, and Jabray for the questions. Really appreciate it. You guys coming in clutch there. I guess I would like to thank Amplify Snack Brands or whoever, or Paqui or whatever, for making this chip-in challenge so I can have content, I guess. If you guys would like me to try other hot products on this podcast, let me know. Hit me up on my Instagram, crimson_chin_87. There's a new corn hot sauce that I need to buy. From what I've heard, it's not hot, it's just very flavorful. But yeah, I'm interested in trying hot things, as long as it's not like a whole chip form. Like, I can get the hot sauce or whatever and put it on, like, a little dab or whatever. I mean, I'd be down with that. But if not, if you don't want to hear me suffer, cool, let me know that too. On the next episode that I plan on recording here, hopefully soon, I want to dive into my most recent experience at the Shadow of Intent and Lorna Shore shows, back-to-back nights. I might talk about some recent releases, maybe some of the plans I have for future episodes, like me and a buddy that I used to work with are planning on putting together a top 10 albums of the year episode. And then sometime next year, I'm not 100% sure when I will be. I'm going to be going out seeing my brother, and I'm going to have him on the podcast, and hopefully that's the longest podcast I ever record. I'm super stoked about that, and I know he's already excited to record and be on it. So yeah, that's really all I have. I don't know what to talk about for another 5 minutes, whatever. So I guess technically you could say I crushed the Paqui One Chip challenge. Did it suck? Oh yeah. Do I recommend it? No, not at all. Hopefully this recording comes out well, because I'm not doing this again. But until the next episode, guys, I appreciate you checking out this episode. Thanks for supporting in any way possible. Love you guys. We'll see you soon. Prost.